Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is it. This is it, people. We're on the cleanup and we've got the afterthoughts. So let's clean up. Client.h. Where are we? We're in the client. Let's talk about that first of all. Client I didn't really finish off too well. I know I rushed through it all, but I had to. So system commands, client.h here. Yeah, server accept user. No. Let's not do that. Let's do client to client, shall we? So, been a good day. I haven't tried this yet, but these are the finals. I'm on the final leg now. I'll go through all my alterations that I've decided to make. That's client to client. Done you. Client connected. There we go. It's you. Copy. Client connected. Paste. Oh yeah. System commands.h is now just system commands. I did actually get round to doing it and put in system commands CPP in. Doesn't look brilliant. I'll show you in a minute. Client connected. Actually, I'll go through it all. I don't mind. In the meantime, I shall give you my thoughts. Servers and clients. Where could I start? By getting it right, I suppose. Client data. I've been through everything now, so I think I know what I'm expecting. That looks good. That looks better than it did anyway. Client disconnected. Okay, let's do you. Helps for you run the right. It doesn't actually matter what it runs, but as long as it runs something. Nope, don't want to alter you. Server full.h. Yeah. Ah, lovely. Works out in the end. Always works out in the end. Especially if I save them. There we go. Is that server shutdown done? Nope. There we go. You're done. You're done. You're done. You're done. You're done. And user accept server. Yeah, that's right. That was the only one that was right, because that was the original. Right, let's get this out of the way with. Oh, alright, we'll start here. System commands. All I've done is taken it, copy, paste. Literally. And then just taken the extras off and put a semicolon at the end. So that's now what we've got. I wanted to separate off into a CPP file so I make sure it gets compiled. I think I've spoken about this before, where header files don't get compiled. They have to replace something, and it can make a mess, especially when you're doing this kind of thing. So system commands, yeah, that's better. So system commands is updated. All of these are updated, which you've just seen me do. That means I do have to admit, yeah, okay, alright. I did miss a few here. Yeah, okay, you can add them if you want. You should add them, trust me. So just pop them all in there, you know. Pause the video, pop them in. So that's the client pro done. The only thing we've, oh yeah, client application was the only other thing that's a big modification here. Client application, I am going to invent a new thing for testing called send ACK for when we get our connection. So that's going to connect us. That's going to ACK that we've got the connection. I'll do that in a minute in network. Anything else? There was something down here, wasn't there? Oh yeah, I've actually printf. I finally put it in. App exit client ID equals blah. That is important. Network. Up it. Don't do that. Client. Get client ID. We have to do that one as well. Oh, he's happy. He's crawling all over things. He's happy. So that's the changes there. There was a correction. Missed that out. Big time. Don't do that. Don't ever miss that out. Just deleted a line there because it was not necessary. So that's the green bit's done. Red bit's done. Blue bit done. That's new. Yep, that's it. Lovely. So system commands is all done. Client's done. Client Pro is done. Network. Oh. Only network CPP. Let's start at the top. What have I done here? Here we go. This is what I want to add. Toggle line comment. Yep. Okay. It's just sendak, isn't it? So it's only that last bit I need. Copy. I haven't done the header file. Right, where did I put it? Just before update. Update network. Yeah. So put it in here. So I know it's going to get removed. That's fine. And also at the bottom here, I will do an int. Well, an unsigned int, isn't it? Really? Get client ID, I think I called it. Const. Do it properly. Why not? Return. Ooh. Return. And this is the important bit. M_ clients 0. MID. There we go. Lovely. Network H updated. And that should make that application fine. Use for testing. Yep. Down the bottom. Get client ID. Const. Yep. That's lovely now. That'll go into the %D. It is a unsigned int. Yep. That's good. There we go. That's that done. That's nice. Nice little correction. Well, not correction, but helpful bits. So this sendak, what's it up to? Checks if you're connected. Creates a buffer of %D, which is 0, because that's the only thing that the network has at the moment. We haven't copied our system commands over. Once it's all complete, the system commands directory, that directory there, you just copy that straight over. And then you have to do copy that straight over as well, if that makes sense. Which is the reason I took it out and put it here. Anyway, that's beside the point. Let's just have a quick look down here. I've done some different bits and pieces, haven't I? So I've added that. That's green. Yeah. Took out a line here because there was a space I didn't need. Took out a line here because there's probably something I didn't need. And here because there's something I didn't need. Anything else? Added the test. Yeah, that's okay. I've moved it from there to there before it gets deleted, the data. Might help. Took out a blank line. Test is okay. 0, 0. There was an alteration somewhere. Which one's this? Client network, isn't it? Let me just make sure, because there's two networks. You see, there's that one there and there's this one. So yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's the .h. Look at the .cpp. Yep, sendac. Remove the line. Remove the line. Oh, for testing. And for I took out the test. Yes, I removed that test. It wasn't. Well, no, I've removed a couple of lines. I kept the test. Sorry. Nothing else here. Oh yeah, that test got moved. Left hand side is what it was. This is what it is. So as you can see, all I did was take that out there. Did I leave it as a command as well? Yeah, I left it as command client disconnect because I expect that to fail. Yeah, that's right. I remember now. I want that to be the failure. Okay, I'm happy with that. So that's the client. Server was only two things. Server application. This is the right hand side is what we've got now. So if I just get rid of that a second, there you go. So the right hand side is what we have now. So from the top, looks the same, looks the same, looks the same. Yeah, I've moved receive data and timeout up into next to new connections. That's all I've done there. M is running. I've actually added, I think. Yes, I have. So that's there. I decided to uncomment the two, which might help the damn thing run. Me. And I've uncommented the system pause at the end because it's just not necessary. Right, so that's your server application. That was a major bit there. It's like, it's not going to run. It's not going to run. Emmy's running does need to be checked. You know, things like that. Oh, what did I just do? That's okay. Network CPP could be a different story. Oh, there's nothing wrong here at all. Oh, gosh. Just get rid of you a minute. So what have we done here? That test I removed. 107. 119 I put in a new test. Oh, right. Printf, new connection. Current ID. Send data, this is a test. Because this is now the network sending data to our client. So we're just doing a test send, really, to make sure it's receiving properly. I finally got around to removing the last /n. Did find one. Yeah, this disconnect thing, I actually added it in. It does help because we're doing it with the timeout, aren't we? So I took out what I thought was right and put in the correct. M is connected equals false. That has to go in your timeout because on the server we are going to shut down from the timeout. So my bad there, sorry. Anything else here? Yeah, I took out the false here because it ain't necessary now. Doops. So yeah, I took it out of this 235 area. So that bit for testing, delete, get rid of. Not now needed. Down here, I added a test after we did the full disconnect. I just printf'd at the end of it, disconnected who, client ID. That's all I've done there. Here I added, actually I moved that printf up to a bit and just redid it slightly so it had the client and data and everything. It was looking nicer. So sent to. I really want to put double colons on that. Never mind. Doesn't matter. Move the test, yeah. And that's it. That's all I've really done. So the only things I got wrong in here was this false thingy, which you have to take out of here and put in somewhere else. I can't remember now. Into the disconnect bit, anyway. The timeout, sorry, bit. There you go. That bit. Lovely. No idea if it works yet. Haven't even tried it. So, let's get on with it, shall we? Right, so server. Opening terminal. We'll do that separately. So that's just going to be, I'm going to do a full make clean one on this. Do a full rebuild. And build, and hopefully no typing mistakes in that lot. Thank you. So that's possibly looking good. Let's have a look. Repos. Programming. Explore server debug. PowerShell. Lovely. Come on, there we go. Okay. Lovely. So we have our debug. If I hover over that, press Control, and nothing happens. Okay. Doesn't move the sizes, never mind. Server. Up and running. Here we go. Cross your fingers that it even compiles after all of those alterations. Oh, it did. There you go. So, this is what we have after all those alterations. And if anybody wants the full version of the code, email me, I suppose, or get in touch. Right, yeah, we can fit it like that, can't we? So this, who starts it up? We start up with a send, don't we? So we send 00 ACK. Well, no, that's not the start of the program. As I said before, we contact it and do a handshake for a connection. So a connection happens here, which I haven't got a printout for, and I should have. So connection first. New connection second. Sent to is an ACK, is it not? Oh no, where's the ACK? Received the ACK is on that one there, yeah. So we sent, yes, user accept 00, and then registered the new connection as 0. Fine. But what's happened over here? We've sent an ACK, and then we've received, 0, 0. Which is that 0 there. So we're sending stuff before we've even acted. There is a full handshake goes on a connection, and it's hidden behind SDL, which gives us a problem, because we are sending on the assumption that we are 0. And we haven't received it. We haven't received our client ID before we've done a send. You have to be aware of that, and this is what I was trying to prove. This part here is the important bit. The rest of it doesn't matter, it just says it all works. System commands accept users access 00, that's the receiving of that. Receive the test, system command client data access 50, this is a test, correct. Received of 44 app exit. it doesn't access the system command for that one. It intercepts. If you try and actually, should we try it? Because it's on the client, isn't it? Okay, let's set it off again. Okay, let's just get you up there. Let's just press any continue. It works now, anyway. What we're going to try is not intercepting that call on network. So where we have that change, where did I put it? I put it in receive on here, didn't I? Initialize, yeah. Right, so I intercepted the client disconnect. What will happen if we don't intercept the client disconnect? We won't break, we won't have m is connected equals false. So that is a piece of data that we are going to set from here. Client disconnect. It's that line there. So that line there has to set a piece of data somewhere that is accessible by your application. Otherwise, you can't do that equals something, which means you will run forever. That's why I intercepted it, so I'm not going to take it out. But it works. That all works now. I'm really chuffed with that. There is a problem, of course, and that is if, let me just show you. Now, because of this, see, it waits 5 seconds for the timeout, and then it'll disconnect you. Because of this weirdosity here, we have to receive that 00 before we can send. So we have to wait for our first receive. You really should wait for that on your application. You should then set, as I have taken app exit client ID 0, you should then set client ID here on this receive. Alright, I'm telling you this because I'm not going to show it. This is the last episode. I'm not going to carry this part on. I'm going to be carrying the program on. I'm going to be doing it, but it's not going to be coming up on here. That's to be aware of. And anything that you plug into this, you also need to be aware on the server side when a shutdown is requested. That again, this is press out, isn't it? Yeah. Again, on your application side in server, server CPP, nope, source, server application. On your server application, you can access that piece of data to be able to shut down. That should say equals are we shut down piece of data, wherever that's stored. So you've got to be aware of that, otherwise you're just going to be into, well, a massive loop. So there were a couple of things I did want to talk about. One was security, obviously. Right, this is going to be fun. Something that I did that I didn't like. This. I did it because I'm only going to copy it over. Don't ever do it. The reason is, calls. Every time you do that in a program, it slows it down. Because it means, in assembly language, it has to jump somewhere else in memory to continue running the program. And this is an unnecessary function call. It just runs a set of commands. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't actually do anything. It's setting up this lot, but it doesn't do anything. Oh, do we need to delete all of these? Blooming heck, we do. We haven't even deleted that lot. Yeah. Delete them as well. Here. I hadn't even thought about it. Those need deleting. Yeah, memory leak. That's another reason. This, nah, this is just silly. You just don't do that ever. Interesting thing is, if you're using like an IDE or something like Visual Studio 2019 or something like that, or Qt, Code Blocks, or even Eclipse, or anything really, when they do their release compilation, they will try to streamline everything and optimize. And I hate that. I don't like them optimizing. I prefer to do it for myself. So if you were to run this in release mode, this would be chopped out of here anyway by the compiler and placed back in here because it's an unnecessary call. And the compiler can see that because it's obvious. And it will actually optimize it. Which is why sometimes I will say explicit. Yeah. Before something, to stop the compiler from doing that. You'll see it mostly on constructors though, the word explicit. So if you make a constructor explicit, the compiler will not try to overrule you. It has to accept whatever you give it as the default constructor, rather than have a default constructor as just open brackets, close brackets. So that's things to be aware of on the security side. Right. Let's see if I can explain this easily. It's easy to explain, but it's hard to realize because it's obvious. Let's do that one. Let's have a look, see what we've got. Yeah, we've got a job board. Is that okay? Can we see it properly? Are we alright with that? Yeah, okay. Yellow will do. Yeah. Right. Let's give ourselves touch writing. Right, okay. What else can you do? Alright. Let's give ourselves an idea of something. Let's say we are on the left and somebody is on the right, and in between us is this gap. Alright. Called the internet. This is the internet, alright? Big stream, big river of information flows through here. This is your internet. Okay. Here is me. And over here we'll put you. I've got a client. Now in the old days, it used to go client to client like that. So you contact people usually like that. And if you wanted more people to join in, you'd need a server in between here. And that's what people believe nowadays. You put a server here. You connect to it, and your games will run or whatever, and that's just such a bad idea. Look at what you've done. You've got your server in the middle of, well, hell, hacker's paradise, and you've got your client and yourself connected directly to hacker's paradise. And that's why I want to talk about security. That, to me, makes no sense whatsoever. So what you do is you put a server here and a server here, like that, and you do a direct connection which tunnels through. You can use VPNs, you can use different tunneling mechanisms, SSH, stuff like that. You can use anything you want to get across that gap, and you can do it safely. Now, this brings us back to the old days where they were client to client, because that way you will then be like this, which is exactly how you should be, with your client not even going anywhere near the internet. But that's not quite how it works. This is you. This is me. This is you. And what you then do is somebody owns a network. So we're going to scribble that one out. We don't like that one. Somebody owns a network. And say I own a network. Okay, so I will put my network on the edge of the internet like this. Very close to the internet. It's the only thing that there's only one part of it here that will actually touch the internet. That will connect direct to your server. Many people can then directly connect to this server, well, this network. And this network will then run your game. It's called hosting. And you host the game here. And that works, believe it or not, much faster than you think. Because remember, I said you are going to be one loop behind your server. Well, your server will be one loop behind your host. You'll be one loop behind your host. You'll be one loop behind your server. Everybody's in sync. So the host isn't doing anything because these two are in sync already. And all this has to do is manage the flow of data swapping between them. This is running the game. That's where your game is. What does that make the client? The user interface, usually called a graphical user interface, or GUI. That's your client. Your server is your game. Now, if it's a 3D game, come on, think it through. If it's a 3D game, what do you have? You have a client which isn't affected by frame rate. You have a game that isn't affected by a GUI. And you have a server which is passing very little information. There's hardly any information between these two. That's just button presses. Or whatever. So that's your buttons there. Here is just your position data being tracked and where you are on the server. So your position is tracked to the main map. So that's your mapping server. Your position is tracked by your server across. That is synchronized with the position of everybody else coming in to the server there on a mainstream connection. You can have very bad connection, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. The passing of data doesn't matter. It's probably, you could probably work that down to about 64 bytes. 32 bytes, probably 32. Is quite easily, you could probably even get it down to 16 if you were clever and started using masks and stuff like that. Bit masks. So this is the kind of design that you would have for a secure network. Now, if anybody ever wanted to go out onto the internet, you wouldn't put them through here. You would have a secure area which has a portal, a secure portal on it, and an automatic disconnect, and you would let people out there. You would come through insecurely, and then you would go out into insecurity with your security part here. You would not put it anywhere near. I'm not telling you how to do the security, sorry. That's private. So that's how you would actually get onto the internet. How fast would that be? Well, how fast can you access the game? Damn fast. You're talking 32 milliseconds. Round trip. 16 milliseconds to get there. 16 milliseconds, yeah, 32. Round trip, 64 milliseconds latency on getting onto the internet. And there you have your two-dimensional internet available to you on any wall that you care to walk past in your three-dimensional network, because you can post web browsers onto a three-dimensional wall and walk past it with a character. It's not a hard thing to do. It's already been done. And you can look out onto the internet and you can push little buttons on the surface using your mouse and it will go to different websites. Oh, come on. Watch Netflix with your mates. Think about it. Go shopping with other people. Do what you would do in real life. Call it Second Life even if you wanted to, but you can't because that's an advert. That's already copyrighted. But there's your system. Come on, Microsoft, where's our 3D internet gone? Why is Windows still 2D? Doesn't have to be. I'll show you, if I can. And this is the crux of it for me. The real crux of it for me. If I go to Windows System and I get up, say, Task Manager. Okay, here's my Task Manager. And you look down your background tasks. C++, there you go, I've got extensions running. I've got Cortana running. But look, Cortana is a server. Yeah. Didn't you know you're already using servers all the way across here? Microsoft Edge. Well, it connects to servers. Our browsers connect to servers. And the funny thing is, if you look down here, there's tons and tons of server stuff. No, that's a runtime brokers. Service executables. There's a massive one down here somewhere. Where is it? It's hosts and stuff. Here we go. Hosts. A host is a server. Did you not know your Windows are servers? Did you not know you're just running a bunch of servers already? Yeah. Funny thing is, a web browser in 2D pulls information in from the internet. Well, if the information stops at that wall, you can see out onto the internet. And that is a big difference. That's where your security risk is in Windows, and that's what they should have done. Sorry Windows, sorry Microsoft, have a go. But you could learn a lot from things like this. But they'll never see it, so I don't care. I know they'll never take any notice. It's too much for them to be bothered about. And on that note, that's just been destroyed. And on that note, I wish you all the best. And I'm going to now convert this into Amber Skies. And the next series will probably be me developing Amber Skies, because I now have the server, I have the client, I have Amber SL for my 3D. We've got quite a lot of other little bits and pieces that I've been sneaking in here and there, which I want to use. I even actually have I'm GUI. I'm GUI. You can look that up on the internet, for just doing simple GUIs on a 3D network. You don't need much in the way of GUI. You can pull things around and put them in different places. You can have one thing interacts with another. You can make on the screen any GUI you want. You don't even need a chat one. Listen, hey, I'm talking to you. How do you think I'm doing it? Through a server? Yes. So the only thing I've missed off is sound. So the things I'm missing are colour, straight colour, which I have done actually now, so I can take that off the list, and sound, because I didn't want to talk about sound because that is very complicated for me to talk about. I'm a musician as well, and sound is difficult because sound to me is a feeling rather than something you hear. So it doesn't cross boundaries very well for me. And I do, yes, wish you all well. I've got my glass of orange. If you want to support Amber Skies in the development of a three-dimensional network for the future, remember I do have Patreon. Please join me. Come along, join in. Code away. I don't care if you're a beginner, an experienced user, or from Microsoft. I don't give a dingoes. You're all people to me. Come along. Come along for the ride. Let's see if we can get a 3D network up and running and stick on a wall somewhere the internet and point it and laugh because it's still in 2D. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to walk into a shop and look at the clothes that you were going to buy, try them on, put your own measurements in, have your own avatar? Think about it. Anyway, that's the future. This is now. Take care. Keep exploring until the future arrives. And have fun.